Chargers at Ravens. Ravens last week, the picks were all Cardinals because Ravens have the worst passing defense in the league. I'm not sure if they're still technically 32nd. They might have moved to 31st or 30th, but whatever. They're the worst passing defense in the league. And Phillip Rivers, top 5 fantasy points per game this season out of quarterbacks right now. It's him, Brady, Dalton, Bortles. And I got to double check who the last one is, but I know that it might be Rodgers. I forget if Rivers is 4th or 5th on that, but coming in at 6,600 in DraftKings. In fact, the Chargers are a great DraftKings lineup here. You got Rivers at 6,600. You've got Danny Woodhead at 4,500. Probably impacted by the Melvin Gordon, well, he won't he? But it doesn't matter. Even when Melvin Gordon was playing, Woodhead was still getting as many targets, as many carries. And he's the outlet that Rivers goes to. He'll look down the field. He'll look for Keenan Allen. He'll look for Stevie Johnson, who's another hot slot play. But I absolutely love Rivers at 6,600 and Woodhead at 4,500 in cash or tournament. That frees up your money for the expensive Adrian Peterson, Matt Forte, Le'Veon Bell, whoever your expensive guys are. With Rivers put up 30 fantasy points last week. He's averaging, I think, 24 or 25, which, as an average for a quarterback, it's just ridiculous.
He throws a ton, and when you have Woodhead in as your running
120
back,
attempts over the last 2 games.
when you have Woodhead as your running back, he's almost more of a shot to catch passes than run the ball. Mm-hmm. And so instead of running with him, they'll just throw to him.
Yeah.
Dump offs, and
Though in the last 2 weeks, Woodhead carries and targets in the red zone is the most on the team.
I'm going to echo that Woodhead is probably one of the first players I'm entering into my lineups when I'm building either a cash game or a tournament. Especially on DraftKings, he's only $4,500. It's a great play. Mm-hmm. Keenan Allen, great play against that defense, especially in a point per reception. I think he should be priced a little higher on DraftKings with his upside this week. Stevie Johnson, great play. Tight ends, I'd probably wait before locking in a player.
Yeah.
Either of them are great options. Ladarius Green is going to be cheaper than Gates.
Yeah. So if you are fading that Thursday game, you don't want to plug either of these tight ends in your lineup.
Ravens have been decent against the tight end. They've given up 23 receptions for 255 yards and a touchdown. But Antonio Gates is really good, and he is a red zone target no matter what defense he's playing.
And I'd also factor in on the Ravens, they've played 2 teams that don't have a tight end. Maybe more.
That's true.
Just comes to mind that they've played the Cardinals and the Broncos, which just pretty much don't have tight ends for purposes.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the rest of their schedule to see more. But for the Ravens, though, I do have my kicker in our head-to-head. We'll get to that. But I do have Justin Tucker going for the Ravens. They're in that middle category. I know that you like one a lot for the price.
I like Justin Forsett a lot this week. I think the matchup's good. San Diego is giving up a league worst 5.3 yards per carry. They're second worst in total yards allowed on the ground, 925. 132 yards per game allowed. Justin Forsett, it hasn't lit the world on fire at all this year. I know a lot of people who drafted him in season-long leagues are pretty mad. But I think this is the week that he's going to get a decent amount of volume, and he could make the most of his 12 to 17 carries, and he could rack up 5 receptions for some yards. So his price on FanDuel has him at 6,900, which isn't
6,100 on DraftKings. But you're right. I've seen the Chargers play because they're our local team here.
Yeah.
So we get stuck with them whenever.
More local soon. Did you hear they filed for relocation?
Yeah. Their run defense is not great.
No.
So that's something where a guy like Forsett could do like a 7 yards per carry sort of thing.
Yeah.
On not a lot. So I echo you there. And I did plug him into one of my 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. only lineups.
I like him in tournaments more than in cash games this week.